Sorry, Hutto, I just have to blow off the cobwebs because we haven't done this in about 6 months.
True.
But welcome everyone to the Pears on a Pod episode. We've got a special guest with us this evening. But before I do that, I have to introduce my co-host, and that is the lovely big-headed man. That is Jack Hudson. Hutto, welcome back.
Hey, mate. It's good. Qualifying final weeks. I'm buzzing. So, yeah, we're back here again.
Yeah, we're back like Porter back in the finals, but we thought we'd get a very special guest. He played for both Geelong and Port Adelaide. Some have used him for a footy grid answer. Some actually do remember him, and he actually remembers his time at both clubs as well, which is I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. Paul Koulouriotis. Paul, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me, gents.
So, Paul, what we do at the start of each pod is talk about what you've done since your footy days ended. So, yeah, what have you been up to?
At the moment, I'm managing director of MPS Integrated. They're a commercial cleaning company that's across Victoria, a bit of Queensland, a bit of SA as well. So
Nice.
that takes pretty much all my time. I do have two kids as well. Ivy's 11 and Sunny's 8. And yeah, so sports, they play soccer, unfortunately. I haven't followed in the football sector, so they're playing soccer. So my weekends are full of soccer.
Yeah, wow. Did you
Yeah.
expect that when they were growing up?
Look, I was brought up on soccer myself, and but I didn't expect it. No, I thought I'm pretty mad into the footy side of things. I do love my soccer as well, but yeah, they chose soccer, and yeah, I love going and watching them on the weekends, and it's been great.
So, we'll take you back. So, you said like you started soccer. So, how did the switch come to footy?
Well, I grew up on soccer. My dad played soccer, and actually, his cousin played for Greece in the 2004
Oh,
European,
wow.
which they
Oh,
won. So
wow.
a bit of bloodlines there, which was an amazing experience. But the way I got into footy was I lived in a court in East Keilor, and my neighbours we used to always have a kick during the week, and then on weekends they used to disappear. So one day I asked them, "Where you guys going?" And they said, "Oh, we play footy. My dad's the coach. Do you want to come?" So that's how I got into playing footy. So it's yeah, a great sport, and yeah, I love it.
Obviously, it led from there into a journey that you probably didn't expect when you started. When did you sort of think, oh, maybe I could actually turn this into a profession?
I was okay as a junior. I was probably in the top three or four at the club. But probably when I started getting to the development sides under 16s, 17s, and I started making the state sides where I thought I was a decent player, and it went pretty quick from there. I got drafted fairly early in the draft, and I didn't realise I thought I was only half decent. So it was a bit of a shock to me. And yeah, all of a sudden I was 17 and in Adelaide playing for Port Adelaide. So it was a bit of a shock, bit of a whirlwind. But yeah, a great experience.
So, how did you sort of deal with that pressure? Pick 12 as well, like so first round. So, what was that like initially?
Yeah, look, I was probably naive, to be honest. Probably took me a couple of years to work out what it's like and how hard you need to train. My first year it came and went, and then I was hit with a lot of injuries towards the end of my first year, and I probably missed a lot of the 2002, 2003 with a lot of hamstring and knee problems, and probably took me those years to work out what I really needed and how to train. And probably, after I probably left Port Adelaide, I really worked hard at Geelong to try and get my body right. But yeah, probably the first couple of years, I was probably thought it was all just going to happen automatically. Didn't realize the hard work that needed to be into it.
Did when you went into sort of the draft that first night or that first conversation you could say with I think it was Choco at the time, I'm pretty sure
It
that
was Choco,
came in.
yes, yeah.
So that whole first experience with Choco talking to Port Adelaide, was it always Port or was there other clubs
No,
giving him a thing?
I thought it was either going to be Geelong, Collingwood, or St Kilda. I think they had 6, 7, or 8, or something along those lines that were pretty keen. I had no idea Port Adelaide was interested, to be honest, until they read my name. So I met with, I think it was about 12 clubs during that process. But The only ones that came to my home were St Kilda and Collingwood. And I thought I was going to one of those, but yeah, when Port Adelaide read my name out, it was a big shock.
Yeah, I feel like that's been a common trend as well. Like with some of our guests, they always say it was just a big shock because Port didn't really speak to them. So
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was a big shock. But I remember one of my first conversations with Choco. He asked me, "Gee, you got a lot of gel in your hair." So
oh god,
so I noted that not to put as much when I made it myself to Adelaide. So
no hair gel. That's a good note to have.
Seems like Choco actually noticed the little things about everyone.
yeah, pretty
Absolutely.
much. He likes to put people under pressure, and
Yeah.
he likes to see how they respond. So he's pretty good like that.
Yeah, what was your relationship like with him throughout like your whole time at Port?
Oh, look, it was a decent. I didn't have a big relationship with Choco. I guess I was playing a lot of SANFL in injured, so he was, solely concentrating. And Port Adelaide were going pretty well back then. They made a few prelims and a lot of finals, and they had an older senior group, and I guess my time was more with the assistant coaches, more in the SANFL level at West Adelaide. So didn't have a lot to do with him, but he was very, very good at motivating. I could remember, sitting in some of the team meetings and trying to get the boys up for each pre-game and half time. He was excellent at that. Very,
Moving
very
across.
intense too, personality at times.
Yeah, I've spoken to him before, like doing newspaper interview, and scared the living shit out of me if I'm honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bit out of
Absolutely.
colour. Obviously, when players move interstate to South, like from interstate to South Australia, like you have living arrangements. Now, is it true that you lived with the owner of Pizza Haven? Was it there for that while?
Yes, that is very true. They had an amazing house down on Henley Beach Road. There was a three-story house and had its own
Oh,
pool and it was at the back of the golf course. So I was very lucky, and they were an amazing family, which I still catch up to this day. They had two beautiful young kids as well, and got to go to their weddings now, and they've got kids. So it's a long time ago now, but I was very lucky to be billeted to Robert and Bill, the names, and I was able to get some free pizzas for some of the boys on poker nights when,
I was about
when
to
we
say.
had, but the dietitian quickly put stop to that. I couldn't do that.
yeah, I'm not surprised at that if I'm honest. But,
Yes.
yeah, tell us a bit about like obviously you said about injuries. How did you get through those challenges? Because obviously it's not easy, like injured, but you're also young in your career, and then the success of the team would probably just been a recipe of wanting to speed this up a bit.
Yeah, it was really hard because I guess I backed my ability to be a decent player, but especially towards 2002 and 2003, I barely played any games at West Adelaide, and I was always issue with my knee. I had a few arthroscopes, and then I kept doing my hamstring, and it was a very frustrating time. And I finally got myself okay. Sorry, 2001 to 2002, I struggled. Then 2003, I played a fairly full year in the SANFL. I think I was emergency a fair few times for the power. But yeah, didn't quite get to crack a game because I played 3 games in my first year,
Mm.
and then that was really frustrating not to get a chance. The team was flying, so no problems there. But by the end of 2003, I got to play in an SANFL grand final and had a meeting. Oh, it was probably a few weeks before the SANFL grand final. Choco sat me down and said, "It's probably time we moved you on and
Jeez.
to find a new home. It probably didn't work out for you here in Adelaide." And look, I agreed. So I just packed my bags and went home straight after the SANFL grand final.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, wow, that's
It
that
can be pretty.
conversation.
It can be pretty
Yeah,
brutal. I think 2003. I think they got knocked out in the finals fairly early. I think so. They made some list changes
Mm.
pretty quick and put it out in the media fairly quick. So and I was one of those, and fair enough too. And so I moved back to Melbourne.
just before we move on to your time at Geelong and everything with the move, I want to talk about the games you actually did play. So that debut against the Western Bulldogs, what was your feeling? It was round 18, finally getting out into the open of playing AFL footy for the first time. How was that feeling for you? And obviously got the win on the day as well. But How was that
Yeah.
leading up to it and everything else?
Look, I really struggle to remember my first couple games at Port. All I remember was really a lot of family coming over and watching the game and them being proud and finally having that taste of AFL footy. I do remember my first kick in AFL footy. It was on the full. And, so it wasn't. I remember getting it. It was Football Park back then. I got it on the far wing, or far half back along the boundary line, and I tried to kick it to the wing, and it went out, sailed out in the full. So it wasn't a great start to my career, but nonetheless, I did get a kick and a possession, so I was happy with that.
You got the jitters out early.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because your last game for Port was Peter Burgoyne's goal after the siren against Carlton.
Yes, that was, yeah. So I remember that game just, I guess, after the siren, and that was great. And I think the morning of that game, actually, I woke up and my knee blew up. It was swollen, and I had to drain it before the game.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, so that was the start of my injuries, and the doctor said you'll be fine for this game. You'll probably make it to the end of the year, but let's just see. But yeah, that was the start of my issues with my knee, and then I remember Peter kicking that goal, and yeah, amazing to be part of it. And then, but unfortunately, I missed it. I think the showdown was the next week, and I missed that. So. Yeah, but yeah, look, at my time at Port, it felt like it was fairly quick. I didn't get to play many games, but enjoyable experience.
Yeah,
And
100%. And obviously get the memories to come with it as well, especially your first club, AFL footy. You know, I think you sit back on it now and like, yeah, I mean, I've got that experience down pat.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, my kids probably don't believe I played. They haven't seen much footage, and they're listening to this in the background. But yeah, it was a great experience. But yeah, unfortunately, a bit of injuries and probably my first year or two cost me some momentum going at Port Adelaide.
and okay, so Geelong, get to Geelong. So who else spoke to you after you moved on
I
from
was
Geelong?
actually training at Collingwood.
Oh wow, very
Yeah, I was
Oh,
close.
training at
wow.
Collingwood pre-season, and I Collingwood supporter, was a Collingwood supporter, and so I was. But I think they only had a rookie spot list there, and then a day before the pre-season draft, Bomber Thompson came over and said, "Look, we're going to draft you if you want to come. We want Shane Harvey, but he doesn't want to come to Geelong. He wanted to go to North Melbourne, Brett Harvey. So we're going to get you." I was like, okay.
You're our
I said, fine by
consolation
me.
prize.
I'm happy to come.
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
next day I was on my way down the highway to Geelong.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
wow.
and towards the end of '04, you got a game and then you're a consistent run. So what was that probably your psyche for that first game against Carlton? Was it this is all or nothing sort of
Yeah,
vibe
some
or
people say, you always remember your first game, but for me it was always my fourth game where, because I missed a lot of footy and I didn't play an AFL game for 3 or 4 years. That game to get the nod and get a game with Geelong was an amazing experience. And yeah, I was able to get a few kicks, and that year we made it all the way to a prelim, and I was able to stay in the side and play some pretty good footy towards the back end, and start to feel comfortable in that level. So yeah, it was a great 2004 back end, and yeah, unfortunately we just missed the playing Port and the granny. But I do remember the qualifying final
Mm.
against Port Adelaide. It was yeah, very interesting.
So talking about the qualifying final, what was that sort of like? It was the first time you faced in your old club, and you know what's happened in the past with their qualifying final
Yeah.
performances. Were you asked any sort of info, or what was the sort of vibe heading in?
No, not really. They were more concerned about how I'd go going against some of your mates and some of your past players the club, and making sure I was okay. And they didn't really ask about any internal things going at Port Adelaide. They knew the game style and the game plan, they had did all the analysis. But yeah, there's only a couple of things I remember out of that game. Was the crowd. The crowd was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started the game, and when Port Adelaide got on a roll, they were as loud as I've ever heard it in an AFL game. And I lined up on the wing that day in the first bounce, and next to me, I looked over, and it was Kane Corns. I was like, "What are you doing here? Why are you on me?"
Get
He
the
was, he
tag.
was a really good tagger back in the day, and I was like, "Surely you're not tagging me." It didn't last long; it probably lasted 20 minutes, and then he was off to someone else. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock to the system, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
So
was going to say who you're lining up on. That was of all people, Kane Corns. I'm thinking you're going to get
Yeah,
tagged.
yeah, it was a bit of a shock, and he was having a really good year with majority of the Port Adelaide players. So yeah, I remember trying to ask one of the other guys after the game or after the season, was Kane actually tagging me? But I didn't really get any confirmation. They were too busy partying.
Well, talking about the following week, the win over Essendon in the semi-final, like how cool was that for you? And like knowing that you'd be playing the preliminary final the following week.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. A big crowd. I think it was a bit of a lower crowd because they were doing some renovations at the
Yep.
MCG back in that time, and but the crowd was nuts, and it was amazing to be part of that Geelong side that we got over the line and were able to play Brisbane in the prelim. And there was a bit of a quirky thing with the MCG back then where
Yeah.
the prelim had to be played at the MCG, and Brisbane actually, unfortunately had to come to Melbourne to play it when they were the higher ranked team. So, but they still got the chocolate, so it was disappointing in that aspect.
Just
Yeah,
sticking with
that would have
sticking
been
with
funny.
2004 for a second. You got your first and only Brownlow vote in a game against Hawthorn.
Yeah, that was another shock. I think I was on Mad Monday. With Geelong, we're at one of the pubs there, and they read my name out, and I was like, "What? What is going on there?" It was a bit of a shock, but yeah, I was a bit of a claim to fame there to get a Brownlow vote, and yeah, wrap with that. I think I had a good last quarter against Hawthorn,
Mm.
round 22 back then, or I think it was. So I think the umpires might have just looked at that last quarter and felt sorry for me and gave me a vote.
Not bad. 24 and a goal. That's a pretty good game out. 21
Was a good
Yeah.
goal too.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's my only highlight I've got stored away on my phone. So
all in the DVD box set.
that's it.
Oh, jeez. Well, going into 2005, yeah, how'd it feel after obviously having that consistent run of games into the end of '04? How'd you feel going into '05? Like, surely you'd
Yeah,
be feeling
yeah, I felt
confident.
really confident, and I got myself really fit for 2005, and trying to remember if I played round one. I think I was a late inclusion
Yep.
for round one for someone, and I played a decent game, but the last 5 minutes did my hamstring,
Oh,
and that
That'll
sent
do
me
it.
back 3 or 4 weeks, and then I was probably in and out of the side a little bit in that 2005 season, and then I hurt my shoulder just before the finals, and yeah, so they put me out. I didn't play any of the finals that year, and then that was the game where the club. I was lucky enough the club flew me over against Sydney, where was it Nick Davis scored that goal with a few
Oh,
yeah.
seconds left.
gee
I was
whiz.
actually walking back to the change room thinking that we were winning, that we were going to win, and from the grandstand, and all of a sudden he kicked that goal, and it was pretty shattering for the players in that because they really had a really good game that day and probably deserved to win, but
Mm.
unfortunately they missed out.
One bloke just changed it all, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
The looking at the stats here, the key thing that I found very interesting is the last game in your career was a win against Port Adelaide. Well, not your last game in your career, but your last win in your career was against
Mm.
Port.
Yeah,
And
that
it
was
was down
probably
to a
one of
category, and it was probably 10 points, I think it was.
yeah, that was probably one of my better games actually. I think I played half back that day. A bit of a change to
Yeah,
usually playing
at
on the
24.
wing. Yeah, I was stuck on 24. I got that 2 or 3 times, I think,
Yep.
and yeah, and I think it was a bit wet that day as well. And yeah, I enjoyed. I loved it. It was good to get not so much a revenge. They won the premiership, not so, but good to play well against your old team. And and show them that you still kind of had it a little bit after getting delisted. But yeah, that was my last. Was that my last win? There you go.
Last win, round 16, 2005.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll go into your last game now. Ant's got that segue.
The last game, I think it was against Richmond in
Yeah,
2006. Yeah, it was funny that game. I hurt myself early in the year. What round was that?
round 9.
Round 9. Yeah, I hurt myself early in the year. Played one game in the VFL, and then they brought me straight back into the side, which was a shock to me. And I don't think we started the year well that year, and
No.
we lost that game to Richmond by memory. And yeah, the coach, not the coach actually. I got dropped the next week, and then I probably went back to the VFL and probably had the best second half of my career. I was probably averaging about 30, 35 in the VFL, but because the senior team wasn't going very well, they started blooding the younger kids, which,
Mm.
look, I was only 24, 25 at the time. And I remember it's actually Kenny Hinkley, who was assistant coach back then,
Oh,
came up to me and said, this is probably halfway, 3/4 of the year. He goes, mate, Bomber's not going to play you. He's going to play the kids. So I think you just have to look after yourself and try and get to another club. So
oh wow.
yeah, so that was hard to take. And yeah, because like I said before, it was the best second half of my career. I felt like I got really fit. I was getting a load of the ball, but I just couldn't get a game. So they refused to play me, and there's not much I can do about it.
Well, here's a bit of another claim to fame. Who wore the 14 at Geelong before Joel Selwood?
Yes, exactly. I did take that number for a year, my last year at Geelong. But yeah, what a player Joel Selwood was. He's an amazing player and leader at the club. So yeah, it's unfortunately I missed him by a year, and I guess it's funny. I when I played under 18s, I played for Koulouriotis. The next year I left, they won the grand final. Then I left Port Adelaide. The next year they won the grand final. And then when I left Geelong, the next year they won the grand final. So um,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what it says about myself, but yeah, it was unfortunate timing, I guess.
that's a
You did
stitcher.
mention Ken Inkley just there. Obviously, now coaching Port and everyone's fully invested in a final series. Going to the Cats, what was Ken like to you?
Yeah, he was great. He's just a genuine nice guy. Really cares about his players and really cares about your well-being, the way you're traveling. He was a forwards coach at the time by memory, but he'd always come in and check on you. He was really nice to be around. Really nice guy. Like I said before, he loved his players. Really gives you all that encouragement, and you really want to play for him in the end. So yeah, great guy. Fingers crossed he has a really good final series this year with the Power. He deserves all the success. He's a really good coach. I've enjoyed watching him over the years, and yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. We got another one for you. Tassie VFL you went to after obviously you left Geelong.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
what was that experience like and thoughts on them getting an
Oh,
AFL team?
wow. What an experience. So Darren Creswell was the coach. So I knew Crezza when he was assistant coach at Geelong. And me and Cameron Thurley, he used to play for Geelong
Yep.
as well. Went
Oh,
to,
yes.
he's from Tassie, and we both got delisted from North Melbourne and Geelong, and we thought, oh well, we'll give Crezza rang us and offered us some silly money to go to Tassie and play for the VFL side. It was tough going. Just the way it was set up, their VFL program. They had players from Launceston, players from Hobart, players from Burnie, all over the place, and you didn't get
Jeez.
to train together much. And it was really hard to join the state and get all the best players from that state. But look, Hobart's a beautiful place. Got to live there for a couple of years, and yeah, it was an interesting experience. We did finish last on the ladder both years.
Hmm.
And then they folded the VFL side after my second year there.
Well, at least they didn't win the flag. That's a positive, I
No,
guess.
that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but some great memories.
and your thoughts on them going into the AFL in a few years' time? Do you reckon that it'll be a better success than you folding them, or?
Oh, yeah, I'd say. Look, I think they should go well as long as the state gets behind them. The big business in Tasmania and all the people, I'm sure they'll get behind having their own AFL team and support them well. And hopefully the players that live down there enjoy the atmosphere and surroundings. It does get a bit of a fishbowl part of the world where you're only on the island, you can't escape too far out. But it's a beautiful place, and I think they'll go well. I think they'll have a great chance of succeeding.
Awesome.
Yeah, lovely.
And you want to dive into Big Brother?
Let's do Big Brother.
This is Big Brother.
Paul, this is where we talk about footy trips or footy stories that happened at the clubs that you were at that might have happened behind the scenes that have not hit the front pages, and they never will with this podcast. But it's always nice to hear some good footy stories. So have you got anyone or anything to tell the lovely audience about your time at either Port or Geelong?
Am I allowed to say it? That's the thing. I'm trying to remember.
This is always good.
Yeah, I know. Port Adelaide, I remember one that we were, back in the day, we went to Hawaii as a team, and there was a fair few guys there, 25 to 30 guys that came on the footy trip, and we were at our resort, and it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and a lot of families out there were having dinner, and we were sitting amongst them. But we started playing a drinking game. I think it was 60 shots in 60 minutes or something like that. So, by the end of it, there was a lot of guys spewing up in the surroundings where, families are just sitting there having their quiet dinner. Got pretty rowdy, and then look, that's the only thing I can remember, but he wasn't looking around and seeing all the families all shocked with their kids trying to shush them away.
Oh my God.
Probably wasn't great by us, but it was a fun experience, and I did make it 60 and 60, and I didn't spew.
Yeah.
Yes, well done. What was it like? What was it? Just a mixture?
It was beer. Yeah, it was just beer.
6 shots of beer. Okay.
Yeah. It was in a shot glass, so 60 shots of beer in 60 minutes. So now these days you can't do that type of thing. No, probably. But another trip, probably can't say that. It was with Geelong. One of the boys, I won't say who, were playing a game. I think it was Truth or Dare, and he ended up stealing a taxi and driving it up and down where the pub was, the street, tooting his horn. This was in Thailand, and end of the day, he had to kind of pay his way out of that trouble.
Oh my Lord! That has a certain player in mind, and I'm not going to say who it is, but I have an idea.
that was with the Cats, but and I guess probably people talk about their exit meetings these days, and I had my exit meeting with Geelong in London. We had an exhibition game against Port Adelaide.
Yes.
6, and I had a meeting with Bomber Thompson at 9 a.m. I think I rolled in. It was the last night. I think I got home at 6 a.m. rolled in. God. I knew what was happening. And Bomber said, "Look, unfortunately, we're not going to offer you a new contract." So I just got up and walked out. And that was my exit interview in London. So there you go.
The London walk.
That's good.
That's it.
Oh, that's terrific. That's a terrific Big Brother. Nicely done. Nicely bloody done.
I like that. Just quickly before we go on to the next one, I obviously had 2 prolific coaches throughout your playing career, Choco, Bomber Thompson. Do you sit back and compare the pair about the differences that they both brought to you as a player and a person?
Look, it was hard for me to judge Choco because I didn't have a lot to deal with him. I played the 3 games in my first year, then the next 3 years, I didn't get a look in, and due to injuries and form, and so it was. But Choco's really good motivating and getting his players up. What I could hear, the limited time I had with Choco, Bomber Thompson was pretty more laid back, but he could give you a good rocket. He trusted you to make the right decision, and he really, I think Bomber was really good at teaching young kids how to play the game and where to run, where to handball, and he was really good in that aspect of things. Where I didn't really get that time with Choco because I wasn't in the AFL system a lot. So
Yep.
probably that's the difference between the two coaches that I noticed.
I think
definitely.
I think the year, I think '06, your last year, I think it was the year that Bomber decided to have a crack at the media over the Brad Alton Street. Is that right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. It was towards the end of '06, I think, where they did a review as well on Bomber, and yeah, if he was going to keep his job or not. So I think, yeah, luckily for the Cats there, they kept him on board and invested in him and the program, and it paid dividends.
Most fork in the road moment that could have gone either way, and that worked out really
Absolutely.
well. Oh, that's terrific. And random port match.
Yeah, let's do it. A bit of random port match chat. Hutto, I've been told by many sources, and that source being you, that this is an unbelievable random port match you've got. So you want to kick us off?
Yes. So today I've acquired from 1998 the Chad Corns draft pick signature card.
Oh, nice.
I'm very happy with that. Yeah, one of the more prized ones in my port collection that I've got. So, yep.
Pretty cheap, I heard.
Yeah, no, very cheap.
I
Paul, I'm pretty sure you would have signed a few of those
actually
as
just
well.
found it.
Oh,
Can you see it there?
Oh,
There you
oh, no, you lift it up a bit.
go. I lifted it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it
hey,
is.
that's elite.
So
Absolutely. So that's my one and only card.
Yes.
It was just because I was a first round draft pick and I was able to get a card and have my signature on it. So it was great.
I think
There you
you had
go.
hand signed, what, 750 of them?
Yeah, that's it.
Bloody
Yeah, something like
ages.
that. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, back in the day, I was signing away and I thought, oh, yeah, this is great. I'm going to sell lots of these. And now you can find them on every street corner,
Yeah, that's
selling for
unbelievable.
50 cents. Oh, not even giving away for free, actually. But anyway.
No,
Actually
those.
got I had it was all the top draft picks that I got presented a frame and unfortunately I had it sitting beside a window and it faded all the footy cards. I didn't realise.
Oh,
And then I had where I used to work back in the day, it was the Christmas and we had the Kris Kringle and someone bought me my footy card for me.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
So there you go.
Oh, that's great. What do you got,
that's
Ant?
elite. Oh, I'm going to run with the footy cards, but um, mine's modern day. Well, I
Yours
think
is,
some people have seen this, but yeah, I thought I'd show this to the Pairs on a Pod crew is Zach Butters' Coaches Award
please put that in a plastic sleeve.
last year.
Absolutely.
It's
Fair
I
play.
will. It's sitting on just, it's not fading.
upsetting me.
Yeah, don't put it next to a window, please.
Yeah.
I learned that the
There
hard
were some
way.
good players in that draft too. So anyway,
Oh,
I know.
no, there we go. Footy cards,
Too
Ant.
many.
That's wicked. That's great.
I know. Well, you'd love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's something I show the kids, and they've got no interest. But yeah, it's something that I could always have with me, and it's great. Great memory.
You might have to have some soccer cards.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
We got, well, quick fire, Ant.
All right, Paul. This is now. You might have had some media questions over the years, some hard-hitting ones, but these questions might put you to sweat. Like these are really difficult. Quick fire questions. I'll start with number one. What is your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Good question. What is my favorite TV show? Can it be a Netflix series or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep,
Suits.
absolutely.
Probably Suits.
Yeah, nice. Your favorite flavor of potato chip?
Plain.
Ooh.
Original. Yeah.
Original, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
People say that starts. Yeah. Your go-to karaoke song?
I've done karaoke once, and that was with I think it was with Michael Stevens when we were back at playing Adelaide, and it was "Killing Me Softly" by the Fugees.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, that was a memory that just popped into my head. Then not a good one.
Great song.
Any rendition you want to just throw out there?
No, please, no.
Not
Hey,
having anybody ever take that up.
Yeah, got to add the extra. What was your favorite Mario Kart character?
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple.
Stock standard too is good. It's always the quickest in red.
Yeah.
And the most important question we ask, and probably the most hard hitting, is what's your favorite flavor of shapes?
Barbecue. I'm fairly simple. I know. Plain chips, barbecue shapes, can't go wrong.
Yes.
That's it.
We come back and we just take the barbecue. Welcome to the club, Paul.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
We'll move on from
Stick
that.
that one up, yeah, Hutto.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hutto loves crimpy.
Yeah,
Crimp? Oh, no, they're probably the worst.
Yes.
I think pizza shapes are next, aren't
Yeah, no, they're definitely second for me.
they?
Oh, good lord.
That's
Yeah, right.
so funny.
Drive
We're
by.
going to get into obscure port play,
Mm.
where we just named players that played for Port Adelaide that were under 50 games. What's yours, Hutto?
I got Derek Murray.
Oh,
Played about 23 games, including 11 2000. Played 2 in 2002, where we were very good, and he lost both of them. So that's a real good track record for old Derek Murray. But yes, that is my obscure port player. Pear?
very, very nice. What's yours, Paul?
One of my good mates that we lived together in Adelaide back in the time, Adam Morgan.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So you roomed with Morgo?
Yeah, we lived together in Adelaide for a couple of years, and then yeah, he's back in Melbourne now, and we're overdue for a catch up actually. So yeah,
Pass on our details to him, sure.
yeah,
Love to chat with him.
absolutely.
Good to know we can help out with catching people up as well. Let us go, Hutto.
Always good.
Mine's a bloke that I think owns half of Adelaide's Holdens, Nathan Steinbloner.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Wow.
It's an underboy.
Yeah, played 20 games back in the day. 2001 was his last year. Started in 1997, so
Yeah.
a couple of throwbacks there.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
very good there, boys. Very well done.
Anything else you'd like to add, Hutto?
The last question I usually ask Paul is, in your whole career, obviously you've played on some hard opponents. Like ask who's the hardest opponent, but I'll go the reverse. Who was your easiest opponent you ever played on? And please say Kane Corns.
Yeah, Kane goes, no, I don't think I got a kick, to be honest. No, there's no easy opponents. Yeah, they're all tough. I was lucky probably playing wing for most of my time in the AFL there. I got to hang around the picket fence and get some easy ball out there. But yeah, it was a tough caper, and lucky enough to play a few games along the way.
No, easy. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out, Paul. We really enjoyed speaking to you. And yeah, thank you so much once again.
Appreciate your time, guys. Appreciate it.